My calf looks huge. Let me pull this down.
I
have huge calves too.
Oh, me
did
too.
You know that Asian women
have big calves. Yeah, I know.
How lucky are we?
Yeah. No, it's not. No, but it's good though for bone density as you grow older.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. It's good for bone density and bad if you want knee-high boots.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
I
It's such a hard thing.
fit in any knee-high boot. Unless they're like stretchy.
You have to buy wide.
They sell wide, yeah.
Yeah. But they're just like not as like chic looking. So then I'm just like, ugh, whatever.
I don't know. The boots.
Yeah.
That is another traumatizing Asian experience. I think
Really?
it's way more niche.
Yeah, super niche.
No, but like a lot of men get calf implants.
Yeah, I know that.
No, I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
It's a
Calf
thing.
implants.
Yeah, it's weird. Welcome to GlowJob, the beauty podcast that's more than skin deep. We're the only podcast to make you hotter and smarter. So Yu-Chen, have you always lived in LA or where'd you grow up?
I actually grew up in Singapore.
Oh, no
I was
way.
born in Taiwan, then I grew up in Singapore. Then I moved to Los Angeles when I was 18, and I've been here ever since.
Did you come for college?
I did, yeah. I went to Pepperdine.
So what was it like growing up in Singapore?
Singapore's a melting pot, right? So we have 4 main races, unlike most countries where there is a dominant race. In Singapore, you have the Chinese, the Malay, the Indians, the Eurasians, and you have a lot of foreign expats and foreign students that live and work in Singapore. And growing up in Singapore, I never knew what it felt like to be a ethnic minority because, I kind of looked like everyone else. But at the same time, I wasn't Singaporean in terms of my nationality because I was born in Taiwan. I had a Taiwanese passport. When I was going to school in Singapore, I got picked on quite a bit. Oftentimes by teachers, sometimes by schoolmates. Teachers.
For what though?
Singapore is a really small country with a lot of foreigners. So, when you live in a country where over 60% of the people in your country are not from there, some people, don't like that. And I was a pretty mischievous child. I was very opinionated. That didn't go very well going to school in Asia. And oftentimes, I would have comments or I would ask questions and the teachers would tell me, if you don't like how we do things here, why don't you go back to your country?
No way.
I heard that a lot growing up in Singapore. Why don't you go back to your country?
How old were you when you were going to school in Singapore? Like when you first started school in Singapore?
I was in kindergarten.
Oh, so this
you
is
were
early.
really young.
Really early. I spent many, many years in Singapore.
Wow. I can't even imagine how that must feel. Because especially they're supposed to be in a position of power.
Right.
So many people think about their teachers as protectors. You know what I mean? And to be I don't know, called out like that, being picked on like that.
Yeah.
What did you do?
Nothing. I think when a teacher says that to you, it's like, okay, well, I can't really say anything to that. But it didn't bother me so much. But what it did was it always reminded me that I didn't belong.
Were your parents both from Taiwan as well?
So my mom is Taiwanese, but my father's from Malaysia. He's actually from a native tribe in Malaysia called the Melanau. So the Melanau, they're a native tribe, the earliest settlers of Sarawak, Borneo. I think that's East Malaysia.
Yeah, it's funny to hear that kind of pushback you got from your Singaporean teachers because I think a lot of us think of Singapore as a melting pot or salad bowl, whatever you want to call it, right? It's, melting pot. And yeah, I've heard both terms. Yeah. But to hear that there's actually a lot of kind of xenophobia, within a country that's so diverse in Asia is crazy.
I would say there was a little bit when I was growing up there. I feel like that's shifted though in recent years. I feel like when I've gone back to Singapore in recent years, I feel like they've really expanded and globalized and it's so international now with so many people from all over the world and they really do welcome foreign talents and foreign expats. maybe it's different now. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, I kind of get that vibe mostly because like most of the like people that I know that live in Singapore, they are entrepreneurs.
Mhm.
And I know that they're really, really like the government is super kind to entrepreneurs, allowing them
Very.
to run their businesses, to move to the country, all of those things. So, you know, maybe since now it's proven that like the foreigners are doing good things for the country, maybe that's why they're, you know, less critical.
Yeah.
AKA money, bringing money to
I
the
know.
country.
That was like a nice way of me saying it, but basically, yeah.
What are some of your earliest memories around just like beauty in general?
You know, that's really interesting because you would think that if you grew up in an environment where a lot of people look like you would feel and you would be represented. And so my earliest experience with beauty was me on this hunt for the perfect foundation. I was committed. This was, think YouTube era, when YouTube first emerged. I was watching the Michelle beauty tutorials, all the makeup tutorials, teaching you how to do cut crease. But really what intrigued me the most was the moment when they apply foundation. And it's so transformational where it really just makes the entire look. I was determined. I was like, I'm going to find the foundation that works for me, that matches my skin tone. And I started looking. I thought it would be easy because we had a lot of Japanese brands back in the day. K-beauty wasn't really a thing yet back then, but we had Japanese brands. And we also had the Maybellines and, you know, the Chanels back then, the Bobbi Browns. And I remember I would save up all of my pocket money and I would take them to the local drugstores like Watson's. I would take them to the department stores. You know, if I saved up enough, I would go up to the department store counter and try to get a really good foundation. And what I found was there wasn't a shade for me. And I was shocked. I was, you know, living in Singapore, such a melting pot, I could not find a foundation that was my color. So everything I found in the Japanese brands back then, especially, had such narrow ranges that ranged from white to very fair. So I was even more tan than I am now. I could never find anything. And when I tried the mainstream brands, they tended to be more orange or too pink on me. So that was my experience, you know, living in a place where people looked like me, but still having to settle for products not made for me. And then in terms of my idea of beauty, it was really shaped by what I saw in the media, right? The faces of people representing brands, the models that graced the magazines. And they didn't look like me. If they were Asian, they had really, really fair skin. They had delicate little features, you know, big eyes with double eyelids. Basically, the standard of beauty that Asians aspire to. I looked nothing like that because of my father, who is Southeast Asian. At a young age, I was taught that I wasn't what was considered beautiful.
But you know what? I had an experience like similar to yours when I was shopping in Asia. Like I did my study abroad there when I was in college. I went to Yonsei University in South Korea. But anyways, like I wanted to buy Korean makeup, right? So I went to the counters and the same thing. I don't even think I'm tan whatsoever.
You are not.
I'm not. But, you know, and when I was like looking and, you know, I remember so vividly, but, you know, I was on the counters and they were obviously selling things like makeup, but also like the skin lightening, skin whitening creams. And I was looking and I'm like, the girl in the before picture for the skin whitening cream is like what I look like. And I'm like, how is this a thing? But really an interesting shopping experience. I'm sure it's changed a lot.
Well, I was in Seoul a couple of years ago and I was at Hyundai department store. And back then, what brand was it? Was it IOP was really popular back then? So I went to the counter and I had asked to get shade matched because I wanted to try the cushion foundation. And the lady looked at me, she walked away, and then she came back with what looked like 5 shades lighter than my skin tone. And I looked at it and I looked at her, I was like, no, match. And she looked at me, I was like, do you have a darker shade, like the darkest one you have? And then she walked away And she came back again with the same foundation.
Oh my God.
Wait.
And a whitening mask.
Oh my God. See, it's wild. But by the
It's
way,
wild.
I love that when you were talking about getting shade match, you went like this, like shade match,
Yeah.
shade match.
Yeah.
Because so many people, they forget that you should be matching here to like, the neck and the chest area
Yeah.
and not just the face. But oh my God, I can't believe she tried. Maybe she was like out for that commission check because she's like, maybe I'll just sell this girl 2 products today since we don't have the one that she's looking for.
Well, I asked my Korean friend, I was like, why did she do that? Right? Because I was offended. I was like, why? And my Korean friend told me, she said, a lot of people in Korea, they do want their face to be lighter than their body. Like it's intentional. And, they maybe just didn't have a darker shade at that time.
So how about when you moved to the US? So that's like a very different set of beauty standards, right? And so Julie and I have talked about this in previous episodes. In the East, skin lightening is a huge, huge trend. And in the West, it's all about being tan. And I'm curious to know if like the experience got any better when you moved to the US, or was it just about the same?
When I was growing up in Asia, skin whitening was everything, right? It's like a given. And my mom would always push skin whitening products onto me like, oh, use this cream, use this, you have to whiten your skin. So when I moved here, it was a bit of a culture shock because people would compliment me for my skin tone and say, wow, you have such healthy skin. Like I tan myself so I can have a skin tone like yours. And that was the very first time I had ever been complimented on my skin tone. Because growing up, I was always told, you would be so much prettier if you were just lighter.
God.
That is so crazy.
It's so crazy. But then it kind of shifted the way I thought about my skin tone. Like, oh, really? People like this? And I was so excited. I called my mom and I said, Mom, did you know somebody complimented me on my skin tone? They said they tanned themselves so they could look like me. And my mom was like, they must not be Asian.
But were they?
Actually, they weren't. But, I started to expand what I thought about beauty because I started seeing that, people here, they like looking healthy. They like looking natural. And I started to embrace that too.
When you were, I guess, experiencing more US brands of makeup and stuff like that, was it still hard to color match yourself?
It was still really hard for me to find the right shade for myself because oftentimes mainstream brands, their shades tend to be too orange or too pink for my skin tone and for a lot of Asian skin tones. So what would happen was I would have to buy like 2 or 3 different shades and then mix them to try and get the right color. And back then, I was not very good. So some days I would look more orange than others. And I remember at my first internship in college, one day, as I did my usual mixing thing, did it in a rush, I got to work, and my straight white male coworker asked me, "Are you okay? You look a little jaundicey today." And I was like, whoa, what a choice of words. But also immediately I was like, I need to wash my face. So that was when I realized like, okay, I cannot be doing this mixing thing every day. And I had like a little moment of outrage, like, why do I have to mix? So that was one of the incidents that planted a seed in my head that what if there was a makeup brand that actually cared to make shades for people like me? So my internship back then when I was in college, I interned at a advertising agency in Los Angeles. And I was there for a couple years. And one year they gave me the honor of managing Shiseido's account. So I actually did their media strategy for a little bit. They tasked me with specifically diving into the Asian consumer. There were a lot of brands that had Asian origins, but their products weren't necessarily focused on the Asian consumer. So that was like the light bulb moment for me what would it look like if there was a brand that actually specialized in creating products for Asian skin, not just in terms of skin color, but also formulation. And I think that's something that not enough brands talk about. Still in this time and space in the beauty industry where brands are being rewarded for playing the numbers game, right? The more shades you have, the more inclusive you are. But what they fail to mention is different ethnicities have different skin needs, right? My skin type may not be the same as a Caucasian person's skin type, and it may not be the same as a Black person's skin type. So the Asian skin type is actually unique. We have unique challenges like higher sebum production, and we're more sensitive, and we're prone to dehydration. Like these were things that I thought were a me thing. But when I started talking to dermatologists who specialize in Asian skin, I learned that Asian skin is unique.
So when you officially launched Orcé, what was the industry feedback like?
I gotta take a deep breath for this one. It was very challenging in the beginning. This was pre-Fenty. So first of all, I want to say that I really respect Fenty as a brand. I feel like Fenty has paved the way for so many brands like us, starting the conversation about inclusivity and representation. When I first launched the brand, with the absence of a big brand with big budgets like Fenty, I remember sitting across beauty editors who told me, well, actually, they asked me, why do Asians need their own brand? And I was thinking in my head, where do I even begin? Because we don't have products made for us. We're settling for products not made for us. And also, why don't we deserve a brand of our own? And I would also sit across from VC investors who would tell me, hey, love what you're doing, so much potential here. We would love to invest, but why are you pigeonholing yourself? Let's make this brand for everybody. Because the Asian consumer segment, it's not significant enough. And I will say that it planted a lot of doubt in my mind because these are people that I look up to, that have so much more experience than I do. After we launched, the very first time someone told me that seeing seeing a brand that had models who looked like her, she cried. She never thought that there would be a brand that had a face that looked like hers and left such a huge impact on her. And I remember crying because of all the doubt I was carrying. That moment made it all worth it for me.
So how does it feel now, having gone through the worst of it, even before people knew what DEI was, to just seeing it everywhere?
I am so relieved, but also I'm mad. I am pissed. Oh, now you're telling me diversity is important? But I'm glad. We earned it. We deserve this. But I will say there is still room. So much of this diversity and inclusivity in the beauty industry specifically is performative, right? Just because you make 40, 50 shades doesn't mean you're truly being inclusive. Are you actually putting in the time and the research to develop products that meet the needs of these people whose needs haven't been met? Different skin types, different skin tones? Or are you just putting out products so you don't get canceled?
I think a lot of people don't realize that most of the foundation shades that are made out there by the large conglomerates are shade matched on Caucasian skin for all the tones, minus some of the darkest tones. So inherently, that means those shades are not made for folks like us. What is that process like for you as you're developing the shades?
I want to first speak really quickly to what you said, Sasa. When I first started the product development process for the foundation, and the chemist I was working with at the time brought me a book. It was the Pantone Skin Color book. And he's like, well, you can pick 20, 30, or 40, however many you want from this book, and we'll just make it. And I sat there and I was stunned. I'm like, really? This is how people make shades from pages of a book? Well, that book, I think when it first came out, I believe Pantone claimed that they captured pretty much every skin tone. And
how many shades is that then?
It was a lot. I don't remember how many.
Like how thick?
It was a thick book, but they were like color swatches. Yeah. But I had my doubts, right? Because I was flipping through the pages and I was like, well, I don't know, because I didn't see a skin tone in there that looked like mine. So then I returned the book to him and I was like, yeah, I don't feel so good about this. I thought if you're making something for skin that should look like skin, you should have people and skin involved, right? And then that chemist got annoyed at me. He's like, oh, it's going to take a long time. Okay, go to Sephora, Ulta, whichever you want. Pick all the top selling shades from brands that are out there. Bring them here and we will replicate them. And I was like,
he's not getting the assignment.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, again, the whole reason I'm making this product is because there are none that are right for my skin tone out there. So I'm trying to do something different here. Needless to say, I stopped working with that chemist and I decided to work with someone else who understood my vision and believed in what I wanted to create. I thought that was really shocking that a lot of brands out there, I think even today, still are perpetuating the same shades and the same formulas that are in the market by benchmarking. That's the word we use a lot, benchmarking off of the top selling ones. For us, we like to create products from scratch. And what that means is for the foundation, even down to the formulation, we do not white label off of some, factories like stock product. We looked for a chemist who specialized in both skincare and color. And this is something I learned only as I started doing product development for the brand. Not all chemists can do both. Oftentimes, a chemist will say, I'm a skincare chemist, or they would say, I'm a makeup chemist. So back then, especially, it was really hard to find a chemist who could do both. But I found one. And we created a formula specifically for Asian skin.
So where does Orcé retail at?
So we're at Neiman Marcus right now. We are in 8 different cities across the United States.
So when I think about like how people find products these days, I feel like everyone just has this notion that the only place to buy stuff is like Sephora and Ulta, right? Like these huge big box retail places. Mm-hmm. Why do you think people just have so much trust in those types of, entities, I guess?
Well, these retailers are a great place to discover new products. And I know because I'm a consumer myself. I go to Sephora a lot and I discover so many cool brands and cool products. And I think really what it comes down to is awareness, right? Everybody knows about them. Everybody knows that if you want to find makeup, beauty, skincare, you go to these stores.
Because I don't know, sometimes when I'm walking through Sephora, I look at these brands and I know they're not good, right? But I think that, people, especially, I don't know if it's because of Sephora Kids or TikTok or whatever it is, but I just know that there are so many small brands out there that make killer products, way better than what's available at Sephora. But people just either don't know about them, maybe don't trust them as much. And so I feel like it must be hard as a smaller brand.
Yeah, it's definitely hard as a smaller brand, especially because nowadays advertising is getting a lot more expensive. And by advertising, I'm not talking about being on billboards, on TV. I'm talking about digital advertising, social media ads, marketing through influencers, paid content. Everything's getting so expensive these days. Like we have creators with maybe like 10K followers asking us for $8,000
Per post?
per reel.
What the fuck?
I know. So
What?
brands like us, smaller brands, I'm still bootstrapped till this day. We don't have some big VC backing us. So it's really, really tough for small brands to be able to afford that. I guess what I'm trying to get at is it's become so difficult for a small brand to break through the noise and be able to reach people. So, a big retailer like Sephora, like Ulta, is really how a smaller brand gets to get in front of a wider audience.
So how do people discover Orcé then, primarily?
I would say it's mostly through social media. So we've been able to build this great community through social media, first on Instagram and then on TikTok. And I've gotten to meet so many cool people from all over the world through it.
Let's go through some beauty trends, and it's just like a quick yay or nay on the trend.
Okay.
So first up, bleach brows.
I think
The pain on your face.
not for me. Not for me. I think you'd have to be a supermodel to carry that.
That is such a good way of putting it, that you have to be, because there's so many trends out there that I'm just like, you have to look like a Hadid in order to pull that off. Fake freckles.
I think it could be cute.
Yay?
Yay.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about dark lip liner?
Okay. So if you asked me a year ago, how do you feel about the dark lip liners, 90s over lip liner style, I would be like, ew. No way. But it's really growing on me. I love how it brings out dimension. So I do wear some darker lip liner under my water magnet lip tints, and it just adds a little oomph.
Right? To me,
Okay.
it's almost kind of like contouring, right? Like kind of
Yeah.
adding that
Yes.
darkness to really create, again, that dimension.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last one we got to ask, because we've been hearing a lot that Gen Z and Gen Alpha are trying to cancel this one, but winged eyeliner.
I love my winged eyeliner.
Thank
Don't
you.
take it away
Thank
from
you.
me.
You and Julia are twins.
Yay.
Would you rather have to wear glitter eyeshadow for the rest of your life or a red lip every single day?
Glitter eyeshadow.
Ooh, okay. What is your ideal fragrance profile? We're talking floral, musky, gourmand.
It's really tough because it depends on my mood. There's this really cool fragrance brand I have to shout out called Liz, Liis, and they have a whole variety of scents that are so chic. It's like they're like the plain white t-shirt of fragrance,
Huh.
where it's not like anything you've smelled before, but every single scent is so balanced. Today I'm wearing Beau. So Beau is their more musky scent, more masculine and unisex, because I'm wearing this blazer and I was like, I want to feel like a boss. So I wore Beau. But they have some other scents that are like a little bit sweeter, more floral. So yeah, I would say I'm pretty adventurous when it comes to fragrance.
I love that.
Yeah.
What is next for Orcé? Like, I know you guys are very much foundation forward, and Julia and I have tried them. I think Julia, you're wearing it today. Right?
I am shade 20.
Yes, looks so good.
It's amazing. And I always do the check, like with the rest of the neck and the face. It's so good.
I love it. You look stunning.
And my skin likes it. So it's interesting to learn about like the skincare, the skincare focus that you guys put into it.
I can't wait to hear what you think about it.
I love it too.
Yeah.
I'm actually wearing just like a tinted sunscreen today, but when we were color matching at your 6th anniversary party,
Yay.
which was so much fun,
Yeah.
I was really stunned by how well the shade matched my skin. And I'm more of a tinted sunscreen girl than I am a foundation girl, but part of the reason why I am a tinted sunscreen girl and not a foundation girl is that no foundation has ever really worked for my skin. So I'm like, why do I even bother with this when I can just, get a sunscreen and just call it a day? Julia and I tried the same shade at first. So the shade that she's wearing right now, I tried it on my skin and I was like, it's there, but not totally there. And I was playing around. And then I got the 30, I think it was the 30 neutral.
Yeah, you're 30.
Yeah, 30 neutral. And I tried it on my jawline. I was like, oh,
Perfect.
this is actually my skin. It was spot on.
And I loved it because so many times I feel like Sasa and I, you know, we're more on like the light skin shade range, but like we're kind of always grouped as the same shade, right? Like there's another event we went to, we won't say whose it was, but they were like, you guys are the same shade. And then no,
We're
and
not.
we went to your event and it was like very clear that we are not the same shade and we do have a shade that's for us.
Definitely. And I think that's a misconception in the industry too, that a lot of brands think Asian skin tones are just yellow, but we're not just yellow. We have so much nuances in our undertones. You know, you could have a yellow and a pink undertone. You could be warm and neutral at the same time. So it's really nailing that very subtle balance.
To me, that's almost like rooted in racism, where people just think that like, oh, Asians are yellow.
We're all
right?
yellow.
It's crazy to me because like, I think I know more cool toned Asian people than I know warm toned Asian people, for example. But I don't know why that plays such a big part in it. Because a lot of times if I ever go to Sephora and ask them like, oh, will you shade match me? They're like, oh yeah, light warm. You know, they always go warm, warm, warm. And then if they say that, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to figure it out myself.
I think that's the education that you're taught as a makeup artist too. It's like, oh, Asian skin tone yellow, right? And oftentimes, like when I was studying makeup myself, when I went through beauty school, they teach you how to make shades. You know, you play around with pigments like red, white, yellow, blue, green, and then you kind of like, you know, try to match somebody. And we're always taught like, oh, Asian skin, you just add a little bit of yellow pigment, but that's not true. Not true at all.
Wait, I didn't know you went to beauty school. Did you do that in LA?
I did that in LA. Yeah. It was part of my research when I was trying to start the brand because I really wanted to understand from a makeup artist standpoint, the pain of products that are not really doing what you want it to do. And I wanted to make products that makeup artists would love.
I think we told you, but we met in esthetician school.
You did?
Yeah.
That's why your skin are so flawless. Okay, I need both of your skincare routines.
We'll do a swapsies.
Yes.
No, because your skin is flawless too. It's crazy.
I have really bad hormonal acne right now, especially because I have PCOS. And I got off of some of my PCOS medication because it's not friendly if you're trying to conceive. So unfortunately, it's something I got to deal with. But
You look great.
Oh,
Yeah, you look fab.
No, you honestly
all
look great.
makeup.
Well, Orcé is doing its job. Is there anything else that's like, if you had unlimited budget that you could develop next for Orcé?
You know, there is a product that every single person is always asking me, when are you making a concealer? And I am dying to create a concealer, but what people don't understand is concealers are so skew intensive, meaning you need to have at least the same number of shades, if not more, than your foundation line.
Wait, even more than foundation? Why?
Even more than foundation.
I agree with that. I mean, I use multiple shades of concealer every day. Like when I
Really?
wear yes. And usually when I buy a concealer, I'll buy it in multiple shades. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I use concealer.
No, my mind is blown. I'm like,
No. Because concealer, okay, I'm going to go on a rant here, but concealers can really capture like the nuances of your skin tone because your face is not all one color, right? So I have different concealers, one for like spot concealing. So one that's like my skin tone on like the more the perimeters for like acne. And then I have concealers for brightening. So that'll kind of be underneath the eye and like the center areas of the face. So I think I do need both because if I use the one for my under eye area on a pimple, it's not going to conceal anything, right?
Yeah.
So that rant over. I guess it was shorter than I thought it was going to be, but yeah.
So long story short, it requires a lot of money to make. And also, you know, like what we call MOQ, right? The minimum order quantity, when you have to make like 24 shades or 40 shades, you have to make a minimum of a couple of thousand per shade. And there are always going to be shades that sell better than others. And so, yeah, we're just waiting for the right moment, dying to make one.
Interesting. One of the things that I think you guys do that's just so bold is that I rarely see a beauty brand start with foundation, right? Because it's hard and expensive, and maybe you don't need as many SKUs as concealer, but you need a lot of SKUs.
Yes.
But I guess this was always your like North Star.
Truly what started Orcé, because I was never able to find a foundation that worked for me. And so I thought, what better way to start a brand than to solve a huge problem that people in my community face, not being able to find the right foundation. But then we're going to have some really fun products coming out this fall.
Ooh.
It's going to be colorful is all I can say so far.
Oh, I'm excited.
Okay, well then we have to have you back on the pod.
Yeah.
Come
Definitely.
fall. Yeah.
Yes.
What does your mom think of Orcé?
My mom loves Orcé. I know she is proud of me because she talks about Orcé a lot to her friends, and she's a very minimal person. Like, she doesn't wear a lot of makeup. But, ever since I launched Orcé, she would always make an effort and put Orcé on and tell all her friends about it. And if she meets, she's like that nosy auntie. Like, she'll be like, hey, you wear makeup? You have to try this foundation.
Oh, that's so funny.
So that's how I know she's proud of me. She loves it.
I love that. I feel I wouldn't be surprised. Like, even though like GlowJob just started, I know my mom texts everybody she knows, right? Like we made a couple of like merch things, and my mom's like, I need one when I walk around too, because I need to show off too. And I'm like, okay, mom, like, of course you can have one.
I love that.
But it's sweet. Yeah.
It is sweet.
And Joyce too.
Joyce, oh my God, my mom's so funny because we put posters up a lot around town, and my mom saw a stack of them when I was back in New York and visiting home, and she was like, oh, I'll help you put up the posters. And they're just like a stack of these posters that say GlowJob. And then she calls me as she's going out to put them up. She's like, okay, I kind of regret saying I would do this because I'm a 65-year-old woman putting up pink signs that say GlowJob, and people think it says blowjob. And I was like, well, you already committed, so.
Only 20 more to go.
So cute.
Mom support is the best. Yeah.
But other than mom, I know that you also have this amazing community that you guys have built. We got to witness it again at that party we went to, but what's it like building a community like that? How does it feel?
It's very, again, healing. I feel like it's everything I wish I had growing up. And even, after moving, especially after moving here to the States, right? Just trying to find that community that understands my struggles and, we can bond over our shared trauma, but also shared like interests and love in all things. So we truly love our community, and it makes us so happy to hear that this is a community that a lot of people have been searching for as well and finally found. So I'm really excited that you were able to come join us at our anniversary party.
Oh, we had so much fun.
So much fun. And also the desserts were so good.
So good.
Every cookie. Oh my God. I think I ate 3 of those cookies.
The sesame ones.
Yeah.
Those are
so good.
And not too sweet.
Yes. yes. The most Asian thing to say about a dessert. Oh my God.
the highest level of compliment you can give an Asian dessert.
Oh, I like it. It's not too sweet.
That's actually the inspiration behind this shade I'm wearing, this rosewood shade. It's called Not Too Sweet.
That's right.
Yeah.
So cute.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
If Orcé were a person at a party, what would they be wearing? What's their personality? What are they drinking?
Well, what Orcé would wear to a fun kind of casual party would be a really comfortable white t-shirt, a cute blazer from Sandro,
Yes.
comfortable but stylish denim from Frame. Of course, you can't forget the classic Chanel purse and Jimmy Choo pumps.
Okay.
So she's chic.
She's chic, but she likes to be comfortable too.
And she's bougie.
She's a little bougie. She works hard and she enjoys her hard work.
Okay. And what is she drinking at said party?
She would probably be drinking a glass of Sancerre.
I like this. I like this girl.
Yeah, I want to be
She's a
friends with
classy
her.
girl.
I also feel like, is that me you're describing? Because I have that outfit, right? Yeah. if there's a celebrity or cultural icon that you would just love to see wearing Orcé.
It actually happened.
No way.
So the first time I saw Michelle Yeoh wear Orcé, I screamed. And then I cried and I was like, I can't believe it. And then my mom calls me almost immediately. She's like, Michelle Yeoh is wearing your foundation. And I was like, I know, Mom, I just saw it.
Wait, how did you find out? Where did you see her wearing it?
So this amazing makeup artist by the name of Daniel Martin, who has been a huge supporter of the brand, he tagged us in this post where he got Michelle Yeoh ready for an award. And he tagged that she was wearing Orcé in the same shade I am in Illume. And that, I think I almost died. I'm like, that is my dream. My dream has come true, but I will continue to work hard.
Wait, that's iconic. I love her.
I love her.
I love her.
So much. Maybe not as much as my parents love her. She's iconic.
Yeah. What is one beauty trend you think is overrated and one that you secretly love?
Oh, okay. Don't hate me. I think over blushing is overrated. And I also think it's not for everybody. Okay, so I tried it because I try everything once. And I look like a clown. I'm sorry. Maybe it's just me. I think over blushing is overrated. But something that is underrated for me, I think it's just like really healthy, natural looking skin.
Amen.
Yeah.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
And it's always so funny. I feel like younger women in their 20s and 30s, they tend to wear a lot heavier foundations.
Yes.
Mhm.
And it's like, that is when your skin is the best it's ever going to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah, it's true.
It's
The best primer is good skin.
Yeah,
So-
literally. Exactly.
All right. So before we close out, we like to do some rapid fires.
Ooh, okay.
You game?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So the first one is a fuck, marry, kill question. All right.
Okay.
And it is fuck, marry, kill your outfit, your makeup, or your hair.
Ooh. I would marry makeup,
Obviously.
obviously. I would fuck hair, because hair is sexy. But you can't always have it. You don't always have good hair day. I would hate to kill, but I guess I would kill outfit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that you said you can have good hair, but you can't always have it. So
You can't always
yeah.
have it.
Because that kind of makes sense. I get
It's
that.
true. It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
I'm so glad like the slick back bun is now in style because it's like saved me on my bad hair days. I'm like, if it's bad, I'm just gonna slick it
Yeah.
down.
Yes.
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Night owl, as much as I hate to admit.
Okay. So what is the last thing you do before bed?
Again, as much as I hate to admit, I'm scrolling on social media.
It's okay. We all are. I am.
We all are.
Yeah, I call it research though. I'm like, my husband's like, stop being on your phone. We're going to bed. I'm like, I know. I'm doing research, content research.
I'm still working.
I'm still working.
What about a desert island beauty product that's not Orcé?
I will say it would have to be Elta MD's SPF 50 mineral sunscreen.
The mineral one.
Mineral one. I'm
Ah.
actually allergic to chemical sunscreen, and Elta MD's sunscreen is the only one that doesn't like flake off of my skin.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't tried that one, but they have a sport one. So it's face and body, 47 SPF, and it's also a mineral one. And I love
Mhm.
that one, but I'm going to try the tinted one next.
Yeah, try the AOX SPF 50.
And our last question is, what is one piece of advice you would give to your younger self?
Don't care so much about what others think of you. And I think I've really aspired to get my parents' approval growing up and the approval of really everyone around me. So it created a bit of a people-pleasing nature in me. And I remember growing up passing on a lot of opportunities because I was afraid I would make a fool of myself and I was afraid I would be made fun of. And in hindsight, I'm like, you know what? Fuck what other people think. Fuck it. Just do it.
Amen.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good advice, girl.
Honestly,
yeah. Just do you.
Just do you. Yeah. Who cares if you make a fool out of yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Yu-Chen.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
having me.
You had so much fun.